The UK is also sending in additional troops in order to escort out their different diplomats and assist in the overall evacuation effort that is happening in Afghanistan right now. And apparently, according to them, Taliban should not be recognized as Afghan government. Well, they've already taken over all the apparatus. They are sitting right there at the controls, and the president, the duly elected president right now has completely and utterly fled the country. So what's left? It's like they're in charge right now. Should they be? No. Should they be wiped out as quickly as they showed up? Yeah. Who should be responsible for that? Well, the Afghani security patrol or the fucking army that was supposed to be there and was supposed to be well trained, but that's not the situation we find ourselves in, and it looks like we're just going to be ending up denying reality if we don't say that, the Taliban's in fucking control right now. And that is music to the ears of the Chinese right now, because, oh boy, they are loving this situation right now. This is an epic failure of monumental proportions, and it is something that Biden should be wearing for the rest of his presidency, if not the rest of his fucking career. This is just a spectacular collapse of just 20 years of building, of spending money, just all gone in a matter of weeks. It's impossible. And you want more of my take on that, just the first video of the day, which is fucking massive. But overall, Biden's not totally to blame, but he should shoulder a massive, massive chunk of this one. And the administration that first served him his lunch all the way back in, what was that, March or April? Over there in that summit that they had in Anchorage, Alaska. The fucking Xi Jinping B team that went there to meet with Antony Blinken, the Secretary of State, who just absolutely got a fucking shit sandwich from across the table. Now they're just openly laughing at the United States because they see Biden as the weakling that he absolutely is. And they also see his backup, and it's like, oh, yeah, just same old swamp creature. We don't really give shit. Yeah. China reportedly prepares to recognize Taliban if they oust the Afghan government. And this was written, and we haven't really seen an update because, everything is currently transpiring at the moment, and it really does just look like the Taliban are going to take over there. And 20 years all for naught. And China is just waiting. They're just waiting to help any way that they possibly can in order to strengthen their foothold with the rest of the fucking cooperative effort that they're putting together, because they've got Iran, they got Pakistan, now they'll have Afghanistan, Uzbekistan, Stan. They have everything that's in there, okay? They have their foothold. I could see that the next target on their map, probably Israel, if we're being completely honest. Biden also made a couple of allusions during his stupid little fucking meandering press conference. Oh, Turkey, and no, I won't have some mashed potatoes. But there's also there's shit that's planning over there. Somalia, I think, was brought up at the same time. There's going to be conflict. Don't know where, but we know who's going to be on the other side of it. It's going to be China or one of their proxies. China is ready to recognize the Taliban as the legitimate rulers of Afghanistan if the extremist group manages to topple the democratically elected government in Kabul, which would also undermine the Biden administration's main leverage against insurgents, according to intelligence sources. Beijing. I just about to say Beijing. Yeah, a portmanteau of Biden and Beijing. How apropos. Had previously pressured the Taliban to work towards peace agreement with President Ashraf Ghani before he, just fled with bags of cash. Oh, even the New York Post is reporting on it. Cool. However, new Chinese military and intelligence assets have prompted leaders in Beijing to prepare to formalize their relationships with the Taliban, which cited multiple American and foreign intelligence sources. Last month, Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi even met with senior Taliban leader Muhal Abdul Ghani, but get a shorter name, my guy. Matt. We'll call him Matt. What he wants to turn all women into, right? They are infidel. And his delegation in the city of Tianjin, as ties between the two warmed up ahead of the pullout, something they don't do, of U.S. forces in Afghanistan. Yep. At the time, Wang stressed Beijing's respects Afghanistan independence and always adheres to non-interference in the country's internal affairs. Really, bro? You think anybody's gonna fucking believe that? Well, taking a swipe at American intervention. Of course they would. But when we do it, it's fine. When America does it, they're our enemy. Nothing's off the table. evil motherfuckers. So what else are they going to do? Well, Chinese see that this is probably one of the lowest points, at least since the withdrawal from Vietnam. This is the lowest point that the American military finds himself in. And for a multitude of reasons, it could be even worse, because you take a look at the structures at the top of the military themselves. What are they prioritizing? Not having a strong military? No. Why would they be worried about that when there's women and intersectionality and feminism to be considering as well? Wondering about your woke points that are out there, because yeah, that's really going to stop a fucking well-organized military such as the Chinese, the second largest military in the world. Yeah, exactly. And you take a look at their coalitions, and they got a lot of nuclear powers on their side, and that's not something you should be fucking around with, worrying about who isn't wearing fucking high heels. Bunch of goofs. But China's conquest, yeah, they've had their eyes on different targets for a while, looking at Hong Kong and looking at Taiwan as well. This is from about a month ago. The likelihood of China invading Taiwan increases every day. What should the US do? They don't really have a leg to stand on in this one. They're going to be licking their wounds for a minute, and China's definitely going to be fucking jumping on that opportunity. Especially when they have one of their big propaganda outlets, the Global Times, saying that, hey, guess what, Taiwan, fucking get ready, because as soon as conflict breaks out, they didn't say if, they said when war breaks out along the straits, the US is not coming to save you. Oh, it was just an opinion piece written by the Global Times, which is a mouthpiece for the CCP. There's nothing to worry about. Yeah, that's still allowed to be circulated across Twitter with no abandon whatsoever. Relishing Americans' humiliation of Afghanistan, China is wasting no time translating that humiliation into a broader strategic narrative, namely that the Americans cannot be trusted as an ally. Beijing's Global Times propaganda outlet editorialized on Monday that Washington's Afghan abandonment is a lesson for Taiwan's ruling party. While the editorial has its oddities, for example, comparing the situation in Afghanistan to what it falsely claims was Americans' betrayal of King Louis the 16th. What, how they wouldn't help out King Louis the 16th after they received funding in order to beat the British during the founding in 1776? Okay, fucking weird. But again, when you aren't accountable to the facts and you can just rewrite history on a whim, you can go ahead and you can make fucking bizarre claims. Okay, its top line is clear. The shambolic evacuation of Afghanistan has dealt a heavy blow to the credibility and reliability of the United States. They're not wrong. They're not wrong. But again, that's why, well, that's how propaganda is successful, right? They tell you one truth, they make it as sensationalist as possible, and then they just start slipping in different little creative retellings of history. From what happened in Afghanistan, the editorial continues, Taiwan should perceive that once a war breaks out in the Taiwan-China Straits, the island's defense will collapse in hours, and the U.S. military won't come to help. As a result, the Taiwanese authorities will quickly surrender, while some high-level officials may flee by plane. Yup, exactly. Reframing what happened in Afghanistan in order to serve their purpose of demoralizing the Taiwan military. So they're hoping to accomplish on this one. They hope that they don't have to fire a single bullet, okay? They think that they can push out this propaganda in order to just make it a fucking cakewalk, that they can enter the borders of Taiwan and they can just fucking take it over. China wants to expand. I don't think it's a surprise to anybody. Geographically, it's unsuitable for the amount of population growth that they expect, that they want, and the amount of influence that they have in the world requires more land space. Taking over Taiwan, taking over Hong Kong, that's just fundamental at this point. Why do you think that they're trying to hop in bed with the Taliban at this point? Mostly because they have a lot of ideological similarities. Ultimately, though, they're going to run afoul of followers of the great word of Allah and the atheistic praise of the state with the communists, but they'll eventually work that out, and there's no hesitation that the CCP wouldn't just fucking glass Afghanistan if push came to shove. They want world dominance. It's very obvious to anybody who's been paying attention, okay? They haven't had to resort to any sort of military conflict, but just take a look at the Belt and Road strategy. They have money, they have influence in every country around the world, in every major economic forum that they can get their fucking hands on, okay? They're sitting on $3 trillion worth of American money. They keep just kind of shedding it off from time and time because, yes, they have problems within their own borders, their own infrastructure, actual infrastructure. We're not talking about the fucking nebulous term human infrastructure, but like roads and dams and buildings. It's all fucking shambling, okay? It's in desperate need of revival and repair. That's why they're wanting to expand, okay? They've got, within the next couple of decades, they're probably on the cusp of having 2 billion people. And as the fourth or fifth largest geographical country, it's just not tenable. Why do you think they're starting to saber rattle over there in India? They see a vulnerable population as well. And who's one of their big military allies? The same military that they're slandering when it comes to Taiwan. They're going to start pushing their borders, and with Joe Biden just retreating whenever anything gets a little bit hairy, bad things could happen. I don't want to be right on this prognostication. All I'm saying is see where the tea leaves are taking us, and it's down a dangerous path. Just a little heads up, I suppose. It's a very heavy news day, and I thank you all if you've been paid attention throughout the entire day. A lot of coverage, and more of it is likely to come out in the next couple of days because there's a couple of topics that have been rather quiet that are still very important that really haven't come to the forefront lately. So hold on to your titties, I suppose. With that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Catch y'all later.